welcome back to another edition of Miami Cycling. Today we have the Miami Pre-Race 3, which is at El Hueco, which is in Doral. This is a favorite of many racers here because it's a very non-technical four-corner criterium course. The turns are wide, the road's wide, and when there's no wind, you can go absolutely flat out and pedal through the turns and keep the speeds up very high. Unfortunately for the racers today, though, there was a pretty stiff wind out there. If you're looking at the loop on the top left of the screen, the wind would be coming down from the top to the bottom, which would actually be south to north in real life. It made for some fast speeds in this section once the race got going that we're going through now. We'd be ripping 30 miles an hour plus going back here, but then as we made the turn into the backstretch and then the final straightaway, it would be a headwind and a cross headwind coming at you, which led to the peloton bunching up quite a bit, and then also a good opportunity for several attacks to go off. Following this video of Cat 4-5, I'm happy to say that we'll be doing a little bit on the women's 1-2-3 race, or actually it's a 1-5 race. They race all categories together, and they have separate podiums for 1-2-3 and 4-5. And after that, I have some footage that I collected from the P1-2-3 race. It was looked like it was a pretty fast race, so we'll touch on that. But for now, we're just going to talk about this race. Going into this race, I was not feeling well all week. I didn't have a great last few days of training. I was actually pretty sick in the morning with stomach issues before the race even got off. So I just felt like I had absolutely terrible legs the whole day, which actually honestly ended up being a good thing for me because it caused me to race a little bit smarter than I normally do. Usually I'm pushing close to 300 watts average for these races, and yesterday I was able to sit in the right spots of the peloton and only average like 225, 230 watts for the race. And I think if I can take that lesson with me going forward about not doing too much work and not attacking at the wrong times, I might be able to fare a little bit better. We're skipping ahead in the race here a little bit. This is about a little under halfway. It slowed down. There was a break up the road. I tried to take my teammate Santi up here to bridge across. This is where I really found out that my legs were incredibly toast. Like usually I could probably come across this gap with no issues, or I wouldn't say no issues, but it wouldn't have hurt nearly as bad as it did today. So I gave Santi a little elbow flick and I told him, all right, this is the end of your free ride. I'm going back to go sit in the wheels. And I believe he did make it across, but unfortunately the group didn't really work too well together and they ended up getting caught a little while later. And this is the stretch I'm talking about where we're going into the headwind too. Pretty tough. We're going to switch through here to another part of the race. It's actually not another part of the race. This is where I kind of got caught and absorbed back again by the peloton. There's not a whole lot of action for me in this race because, as I said before, I just did a lot of sitting in. So this review is going to be really, really short. So we're sitting in here, and after this moment, we're going to go ahead and skip to the very, very end of the race. This was going to be the closest I've ever come to winning a bike race, but also the furthest away. We're coming down here to the second turn, and I decide to launch an attack. I'm not much of a sprinter, so I feel like the only way I have a chance of winning is if I can go long and not have to fight it out with these guys that got really, really strong sprinting abilities. So I took a flyer here, less than a lap to go, but still it's a long way. I mentioned before it's over a mile of racing, and I'm just gonna let you guys take a look and see what happens here. I don't really need to commentate over the whole thing. I've kind of made the rear view camera bigger so you can see where the gap is at, and you can see on the race course where I am. We're coming through to the second to last turn up here. after this video is done, I have tacked on Johnny's sprint at the end of this video. He finished in 9th place, I think, today, or 8th place today. The race results are going to be posted at the end of this video, so you can see where he finished. But anyway, I'll be back to check in for the women's race in just a couple minutes. Again, this is Johnny's footage. You can see in this sprint here, he started a little bit too far back coming around the last turn. He also lost Jake's wheel a little bit, which might not be a bad thing because Jake almost crashes into 2 people on the right over there. So Johnny was able to snake his way in here and get a pretty good personal result for himself and a good result for the team. And as promised, we have some women's coverage. This is a full 1 through 5 category race. I'm going to focus mostly on the 4-5 race because my girlfriend Erin and teammate races in this race. She ended up landing 3rd place on the podium. Great for her. If anybody has any recommendations to turn iPhone videos into non-weird colors, please reach out to me and let me know how to do that because that footage looks crappy. Not sure what exactly unfolded during this race, but I do know that there was a minor controversy with Rain, who was just in bike radar, bringing his 240mm stem gravel aero bike into the race. I think he ended up being DQ'd. At the end of the race here, we see the final sprint coming up. Sorry for the weird angle. Turcotte ends up winning this race. I think he's in his 50s. I know he won the 50-plus race earlier, so he's definitely in his 50s. But anyway, he's super strong to be able to outsprint these younger guys in this P1-2-3 race. And with that, that's the end of the video. Next race is coming from Piccolo on Wednesday night. Have a great week.